Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with your hot take on the rigged election. Um, what's the latest? Well, election observers given poop emojis wristbands during the voter recount in Wisconsin. Today's cheeky decal caused the stink is the sub headline. Um, Election observers in Wisconsin were given wristbands featuring smiling poop emojis to watch ballot recounts on Tuesday. Observers in the Wisconsin Center downtown Milwaukee area are given the bands each day, show they passed a health screening. On previous days, they had featured the word VIP, but Tuesday's cheeky decal caused the stink. A recount volunteer says others were forced to wear these bracelets to participate in a recount. Staff, attorneys, and volunteers all wearing them. Do these people not take elections seriously? No, they do not. They do not. Come here, John. You want to come over? All right. Making so much noise. Not the people who want to see this not happen. Doesn't surprise me one bit. Doesn't surprise me. So, but it's something that children do, and I think in many respects, a lot of people in the Democratic Party are acting like children. Here's another one. Another story, very interesting. Dominion rep who scanned ballots in Georgia County, where thousands of Trump votes were uncounted, also worked for Kamala Harris. He worked for her as a photographer. Here's one of his pictures. This is Gateway Pundit, so they're a bit hyperbolic about the whole thing. It doesn't mean he cheated, but it is suspicious to have a guy who has close ties to one of the candidates counting the votes. I mean, it's just suspicious. And he's said stuff on social media that sound pretty angry. This has turned into a never-ending election. Now he wants statewide recounts. I'm part of that recount, and we have runoffs to prepare for at the same time. This is going to cost a ton of money for no reason. No, there is a reason. If it was the other way around, I'm sure he'd be screaming bloody murder. Of course, Trump, meaning Trump, didn't denounce white supremacy. He won't denounce them because he is one of them and has to answer to them as a puppet. He'll denounce any and everyone else quick without even being asked. So this is what he thinks of Trump. So do you think a guy who actually believes the president is a white supremacist won't cheat a little bit on behalf of his rival? I think that's a fair assumption. I think it's a fair assumption to make. Why wouldn't you? If you really believe that. Now, maybe he doesn't really believe that. It's just a bunch of hyperbolic nonsense. But there you go. But this is all just a sideshow compared to what's going on at the Sidney Powell's Georgia case. I've heard a little bit about this guy who's just been brought on. Dr. And this is going to be tough to pronounce. Kershavarz Nia. He is the expert in voter fraud and cyber intelligence and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm going to call it Navid Kershavarz Nia. Those who worked with him said was always the smartest person in the room. In doing cybersecurity and technical counterintelligence work for the CIA, NSA, and FBI, he spent decades connecting top secret dots. After several months of working with Mr. Courtney, he began connecting those dots too. He did not like where they led. And here is some of the highlights. My experience, he attests, spans 35 years performing technical assessments, mathematical modeling, cyber attack pattern analysis, and security intelligence. Here's what he had to say about the election and related events. Hammer and scorecard is real. It's not a hoax, as Democrats alleged, and both are used to manipulate election outcomes. Dominion, ES&S, which I haven't heard of, Skittle, and Smartmatic are all vulnerable to fraud and vote manipulation, and the mainstream media reported on these vulnerabilities in the past. Dominion has been used in other countries to forge election results. Dominion's corporate structure is deliberately confusing to hide relationships with Venezuela, China, and Cuba. Wow. I didn't know China had a direct relationship, but there you go. Dominion machines are easily hackable. We all knew that. Dominion memory cards with cryptographic key access to the systems were stolen in 2019. Well, there you go. Although he's had no access to the machines, Dr. Chavez has looked at available data about the election and vote results. Based on that information, he concluded the counts in the disputed states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia, show electronic manipulation. The simulations decisions in the simultaneous decision in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia to pretend to halt counting votes was unprecedented and demonstrated a coordinated effort to collude toward a desired result. 3. 1 or 2% of the votes were forged in Biden's favor. 4. Optical scanners were set to accept unverified and unvalidated ballots. 5. Scanners failed to keep records for audits, an outcome that must have been deliberately programmed. 6. The stolen cryptographic key, which applied to all voting systems, was used to alter vote counts. 7. Favorable voting pouring in after hours for Biden could not have been accounted for by Democratic preference for mailed-in ballots. They demonstrated manipulation. For example, in Pennsylvania, it was physically impossible to feed 400,000 ballots into a machine within 2 to 3 hours. Well, there's some scientific proof right there. 8. Dominion used Chinese parts, and there's reason to believe that China, Venezuela, Cuba interfered with the election. My God. 9. There was a hammer and scorecard cyber attack that altered votes in battleground states and then forwarded the results to Skittle servers in Frankfurt, Germany to avoid detection. So there might be the reason for the raid. There's the proof. The cyber attack then was forwarded to these servers. 10. The systems failed to produce auditable results. Based on these findings, he concluded high confidence that election 2020 data were altered in all battleground states, including hundreds of thousands of votes that were cast for President Trump to be transferred to VP Biden. So, this, as they say in the article, things are getting fun. Yes. So with a guy like this on their team, wow. He seems to be pretty well versed in this area. I mean, Jesus, he's got CIA, NSA, and FBI credentials. He's worked for them. He knows. He basically said, I'm going to put her down. Basically said, this isn't a crazy conspiracy theory. This is real. This is, people have the ability to do this. Will they do it? Have they done it? I believe so, sure. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't you? I mean, look, if you believe that Donald Trump is that big of a danger, and some people do, why wouldn't you do this? If you believe Orange Man bad, Orange Man Hitler, why wouldn't you do this? You believe this is the end of democracy. Why wouldn't you do this? Tell me why. Tell me why. Because you're so fair-minded. There hasn't been a single fair thing coming out of the left in like 5 years. So, yes, I totally believe this. And the icing on the cake for today, for election news, is I got a link. What the heck was the site? You could probably Google it. My buddy Corey sent it to me. And it was an interview with General Flynn. His first interview since he got pardoned. And he's got a bit of an inside track. And although he didn't get into any specifics, he said, this is all real too. They've been ready for this. They're going to fight this. Trump won in a landslide. Pretty much the same thing we've been hearing from right-wing circles all along. Now, is he just going along with the program? Maybe, but I kind of doubt it. A lot of these people are very sincere. And one of the things he pointed out during his interview is we have, literally hundreds of affidavits from people who are risking jail, by the way. I mean, you fill out a phony affidavit, you could go to prison. It's a felony. And they're standing up, and he said Democrats too. Democrats are coming forward and saying, hey, I'm not on board with this. This election was rigged. So this is Democrat and Republicans coming forward now, saying that this vote was rigged. And I think Trump is on track to overturn things. I do. It's just going to be a big, ugly mess and a fight all the way to the end. All the way to the last possible minute. So, tomorrow's a big day. We're going to get some more results. We'll see what happens. Every day's a big day, and it's a freaking roller coaster. So, hang on to your hats. Hopefully, Trump's going to win this.